Shalom. Call all y'all Bashim Shai Bashim Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles at Great Millstone that taught us his truth, that rule well, the 100% truth, to the Akim on the four corners, wishing their lives each and every day on the highways and the byways, and to the brothers and sisters tuning in for edification. Come with another lesson, and this lesson is entitled Joy is Not Here Anymore. And just wanted to say that we already know the dollar is not pretty much the same. Things has changed within the years. Because when you go back to the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, the dollar was strong. That the dollar can go a long ways. But now when you look at things in today's world, which, we fast forward and go to 2025, that's not the case. Things have drastically changed. And one big thing that sticks out to these proud people is they still think that things gonna go back to normal. You know what I'm saying? And they think their stuff don't stink. You know what I'm saying? These are some proud people. And you can see that. You know what I'm saying? You can see that through the social media. They're super proud. You know what I'm saying? They have a clue what's going on, but they want to keep on, fronting like, they're living a good life, There's no joy here anymore. So, they are able to, they're not able to do like they used to be, or used to do, especially these Edomites, you know what I'm saying? They used to live real good, like 100,000, back in the day, like I said, back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, shoot, that could go a long ways, But to today, in certain types of states, man, they only pretty much, they're living paycheck to paycheck, So, and they're busy trying to get rid of the middle class, It's only going to be the rich or the poor, rich and the poor, That's where they're heading to, So this is not going to be a long video, So I want to start off with Haggai chapter 1, verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earn wages to put it into a bag with holes. Yeah, you have planted, much, but a harvest little, And as the nation, as a nation, we definitely have not enough harvest, Like I said, the average, so-called black family, they probably don't even make that much, They probably make, 38, 40, maybe a little over 40,000 a year, So that's why our people can't be being proud, Not especially not like Esau, What it says, you drink but are still thirsty. Yeah, we drink but we still thirsty, trying to chase this money back, not making enough money, That's our people, thirsty for something that you're not going to even get nowhere, especially not now. Where you going? You're not going nowhere. You steady going in circles. You know what I'm saying? You know what it says? You put on clothes but cannot keep warm. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have, most of our people don't even, especially after they pay everything, they don't even have enough money to buy only certain stuff. You know what I'm saying? So they can barely, buy necessities. You know what I'm saying? Even like certain clothes. But look what our people do. Our people try to go out and buy all the excellent designer clothes and stuff like that, thinking that they perpetrating. You know what I'm saying? They don't even have no money, but they want to make it seem like they do. And yeah, when you look at everything since our people been here in Babylon, we have not gotten anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We get the money right back. You know what I'm saying? From the jobs that we work, we are the major consumers. We just get that money right back. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how we always been. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's like, it's like putting earning our wages and put it into a bag with holes. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what we're doing. We going right and giving it right back. So yeah, because we just giving it right back to the, you know what I'm saying? Like to the oppressor. You know what I'm saying? And our people don't even see that and realize that. They want to basically, think they doing really, really good, you know what I'm saying? Especially that when they, buy all this unnecessary stuff, going to concerts and stuff like that, sporting events, they just giving, paying more money out their pocket that they don't even have, you know what I'm saying? So let me go to, this is going to be a quick video. Let me go to 2nd Ezra's chapter, start off, let me go with another scripture, 2nd Ezra's chapter 16 and verse 17 and 18. Woe is me. Woe is me, who will deliver me in those days? Verse 18, the beginning of sorrow and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Yeah. The beginning of sorrows and great mourning, the beginning of famine and great death. Yeah. This is going to happen because the dollar is going to crash, you know what I'm saying, real soon. When you can't buy, certain things, everything is going to change, you know what I'm saying? When you don't have enough money to purchase, your food, especially when you go into the grocery store and, bread going to be like $40, one loaf of bread, you're going to see people lose it, When you see gas, get so high, you can't even get to work, you're going to have to decide on, should I get the gas or should I get the food, you know what I'm saying, to get to work, You're going to have to turn around, you're going to have to try to borrow money from somebody, but hey, the other person ain't going to have no money because they're going to be in the same predicament that you in, you know what I'm saying? That's why ain't no joy in this place. And, the joy, it has gone. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, joy is not here anymore, And these people can perpetrate all they want, And that's what they do. They perpetrate, Verse 18 again. the beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the powers shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what should I do when these evils should come? You know what I'm saying? Verse 19, behold, famine and plagues, tribulation, and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. Yeah. And what is a minute? A minute is a correction, you know, to get these people to realize, you know what I'm saying? There's power above that is in control, you know what I'm saying? The Most High, you know, Yahweh Bashem Yahshua, you know. And when you look back, what did the Lord do to Egypt? You know what I'm saying? It destroyed it. And he destroyed other, you know what I'm saying, situations too. Like during the time of Noah, you know what I'm saying? You know? So, you know, Babylon, aka America, will receive the same judgment, you know what I'm saying? And when you destroy a government, you destroy everything, you know. That is like your house cannot stand anymore, you know. The foundation has corroded, you know. The foundation has completely corroded, you know. You know. Completely corroded. Let's look up that word, corroded. That word corroded means destroyed or damaged, you know, solely by chemical action. This definition 2, destroy or weaken gradually, you know what I'm saying? So when that government, you know what I'm saying, has been destroyed, you know, that foundation is corroded, you know what I'm saying? It's done, you know? So these people don't realize it. This place is done, you know? There's no more joy in this place, you know what I'm saying? But these people want to act like it is, you know? That's how they operate. They want to act like nothing has changed. Things are still the same that it used to be 10 or 15 years ago or 20 years ago. But but things has changed, you know what I'm saying? And that's the dollar has went drastically bad, you know. Yep. Verse 20. But for all these things that should not turn from the wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Yeah. And this is how these people mindsets in Babylon are. They don't care, you know what I'm saying? They're trying to ignore the signs that are happening right here, you know. The destruction is right around the corner, but they're trying to ignore it, you know what I'm saying? You know? That's what they do, you know? But there's nothing to ignore now, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to face it. You're going to have to face that destruction is coming to Babylon the Great, you know. Let's go to 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 18. You know. For the time is fled far away, and leasing is hard at hand. For now haste the vision to come, which thou hast seen. You know what I'm saying? And this is you know, Ezra, our forefather, the prophet of Israel, you know, seen a vision, you know. Hastening is for the day to come, you know what I'm saying? And it's all kind of things happening throughout the world right now, you know what I'm saying? And one of the things that I mentioned earlier, you know what I'm saying, food, you know what I'm saying? Food is steady going up. The housing market hasn't changed, you know what I'm saying? Interest rates are steady going up. You know, credit cards are, you know, so high, you know what I'm saying? After the certain amount of months that you get, you know, zero interest rate, you know, people can't afford that. They can't even pay their cards, you know, credit cards off, you know, right away. So that's why they're in a, you know, bad situation, you know. You know, all kind of earthquakes throughout the world, hurricanes, you know what I'm saying? Shootings at schools, you know what I'm saying? It's been like, 42 shootings, you know? So, and, you know, we still got like, you know, 3 more months to go, you know what I'm saying? So many people getting laid off, unemployment, is on the rise still. The percentages has been the highest that it ever been. So these are set amendments, of scourges that happening, It is so crazy. You have these people out here partying still, you know what I'm saying? Fighting and doing all kind of crazy wicked stuff, to fight for the joy of this world, you know what I'm saying? These people have lost it. They're delusional, And now you're gonna have these pagan days coming up, you know what I'm saying? And these people gonna be in a folly jolly, spirit, like they're just living so good, when they don't realize that they're one paycheck from being homeless, you know what I'm saying? So, like I said, the joy of this world is gone, you know what I'm saying? Ain't no more joy in this world, because it's number mourning, you know what I'm saying? And let me get that in Isaiah 24:7. It's mourning, So these people gonna realize that those days is over with, Isaiah chapter 24, verse 7. The new wine mourn, the wine language, and all that merry heart so sigh. Verse 8. The mirth of the tabrets cease, the noise of them that rejoice in, the joy of the harp cease. Verse 9. They should not drink wine with a strong song. Strong drink should be bitter to them that drink it. Verse 10. The city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up, that no man may come in. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And this is the time we're in now, you know what I'm saying? That joy is completely gone. So stop, you people, stop faking the funk, you know what I'm saying? Stop acting like everything is fine. This place is not going to bounce back, you know what I'm saying? We're at the age of decay. Everything is decaying, The money, the people, the food, which is the horriblest thing right now, you know what I'm saying? Especially these bananas, you know what I'm saying? You buy them, they go so bad fast, you know what I'm saying? Like you look up, 1 day or 2 days, look at them, they look like decrepit, you know what I'm saying? So this place is done, you know what I'm saying? So that's why we are waiting for Yahweh Shem Yahushua to come back to save us, you know what I'm saying? And the only one going to receive salvation is the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you know what I'm saying? So we're hastening the day, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to come up with one more scripture, and I'm going to close this out. I'm going to read 11 and 12 verse. And there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy of darkened. The mirth of the land is gone, Verse 12. And the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. You know what I'm saying? So this is what's coming to Babylon, destruction. The money today is not worth anything. So when you look at someone making 100K, which is not a lot of money today, you know what I'm saying? That's nothing, Back in the 80s, man, you make 100,000, you living really good, you know what I'm saying? Hey, you doing the thing, you know what I'm saying? But now, man, people like scuffing, you know what I'm saying? They probably, borrowing money from people, It depends on your lifestyle, how you living, 100,000, you can live straight now, but these people mindsets are gone. They're trying to live it up too much, you know what I'm saying? That's why They have a lot of bills. You have to cut down on the bills, you know what I'm saying? You have to get rid of some stuff. But these people, man, they ain't trying to get rid of nothing. They want to still live that life, you know what I'm saying? You know, because they have been deceived, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, they've been deceived, you know. Now, let me get that Job 12 and 16, and I close out on that one. The deceived and the deceiver. So, you know, they've been deceived, you know, from what is really going on. But these people are too proud anyway to change, you know. Job chapter 12, verse 16, and with him is strength and wisdom. The deceived and the deceiver are his. Yeah. So these people, you know, has lost it. You know what I'm saying? They bugged out. They delusional. That they think, if they think that Babylon, aka America, is gonna come back to where it used to be, the joy is not here anymore, and it's not gonna come back. You know what I'm saying? So what y'all need to prepare for is for the destruction. For destruction. Woe means destruction. And that's what's coming to Babylon, you know what I'm saying? So the Akim, you know what I'm saying? But we learn this truth from the apostles, a great millstone, through the spirit of the power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. We're thankful and we're grateful. Thank you. And we just, you know, hastening in the day, you know what I'm saying? For this place to, you know, be destroyed, you know. And that's how it's going to be. So like I say again, the joy is not here anymore, and it's not going to never come back. So I wanted to just make a quick lesson. This is, you know, your brother Dawadah coming with another lesson. I want to say, call all y'all by Shem Yahushai by Shem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles, that great millstone that rule and teach well, taught us his truth. Salutation to the Akim on the four corners of this earth, wishing their lives on the highways and the byways, and to the brothers and sisters tuning in for the edification. Shalom.